This podcast is sponsored by Magic Mind Elixirs, Fastco Incorporated, and South Sound Scooters.
This is Nick at Bar 9 in Port Angeles, Washington, and you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars, the now occasional podcast that blends the modern scooter lifestyle with a twist of the paranormal over a cool cocktail.
Welcome to episode 58, aptly called Look Up, Look In, Look Out, where we have another long-awaited and shallow discussion of what has been going on around us, above us, and even in us.
I know.
We're not shallow.
It's been a bit. It's been a bit. We've been busy, but after our brief and extended hiatus, we're back with a kaleidoscope of conversation, catching up with scooter talk, supernatural snippets, and a quiet personal ingestion of some grain alcohol. It's not pretty, but it is what it is.
You know, I wonder how many listeners we've lost since our last podcast.
All of them, I would think.
No, I'm talking death. It's been so long, they died off.
So, boys, how you been doing? We got a pretty good crew here. We've got
we got the best we have to offer.
What's been going on, Lonnie? How are things with you?
Boy, life is good for me. I got a grandchild, number 3, coming next month.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Is it for you?
Absolutely. No, well, I mean, not my child, my son's child. If that's what you're
You
saying.
devil.
Hey, granddaddy.
There's a whole channel on that.
She looks just like Grandpa.
So that's great. How's the new boat? Speaking of grandbabies,
The new boat's awesome. Yep, it's been had it for a while now, but really, really happy with it.
did you do some hours on it this summer?
We did, yeah. Took a trip to the San Juan Islands and a few other short trips.
Oh, with your other friends,
with my really
with your
good
boating friends.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Overnighters.
Well, that's great. And Mark, do you have a son-in-law yet?
No, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
So you retired from coaching, right?
I'm just not the head asshole anymore.
You're the
I'm still-
assistant. You're
yeah.
now, after 30 years.
25 years, I don't have any more headaches.
Yeah, but I
like a
went.
baby.
Lonnie and I went and watched you. You have the same body language as an assistant coach as you did as a peer. What kind of coach were you before? Head coach.
Yeah, well, that was JV. Those guys still have a lot of learning to do. But I can put it away afterwards pretty quick.
Yeah. Put it.
When that buzzer sounds, it's over.
Put that dolly in your
That's
pocket
important.
and
That's
walk
right.
away.
Was it really 25 years?
As a head coach, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Damn, you're getting old.
Hey Keith, how's that septic system?
Well, we're in the middle of the bid process right now, so yeah.
So
what can be expected?
Is it going to be like $6,000-7,000 put a new septic system in?
A day.
It's about 7,300s. Let's put it that way.
$21,000?
No, I mean your scooters here.
Oh,
You
I was doing the multiplication tables.
so do you currently have like an outhouse, or what? What are you doing in the meantime?
We're trucking our poop away.
They live on a hill. Everything's
You know what they say? It all rolls
Gravity.
downhill.
That's right.
Well, sorry to hear that, because that's not fun.
It's a great Christmas present to each other.
Is that how you did it? You opened a card and it had stuff in it?
You don't know what kind of stuff.
But you're able to use your stuff.
Yeah.
Everything is working.
It has to happen. We're on the county's radar right now, so
Well, they fly over, and they watch.
yeah.
They keep an eye on.
somebody's always watching.
Bobby.
My wife is good at that.
Can I just watch? Well, you're watching Leave It to Beaver.
Cuts down
right?
on my overbite.
So Bobby Chuck couldn't make it today. He had a massage.
Oh,
Bobby.
that devil.
But he did get it. He's got a new scooter. He ordered a new GTS 300 Super Sport in golden matte green.
Has he had it out and about yet?
Nope, it won't even take it. He's got it parked in the scooter shop, and he keeps adding things to it.
Well,
He goes, I'm not taking it until it's finished. By the way, can you powder coat all this hardware all the way through here? So we've been doing that.
Bobby had a big birthday, too.
Yeah.
He did. It was his. It was a big birthday weekend. It was tough on me.
Yeah.
it's always about you, isn't it?
I'm surprised he waited as long as he did. His scooter was what?
For his birthday?
A year and a half old? No, his old scooter was a year and a half old or something like that. I mean, kind of shocking.
That is true.
So yeah. So and you know, my apologies to everybody for being so late with this podcast, but we've been busy trying to get a new store going and opening.
How's everything been going?
It's been going good. Yeah.
Because we're in a new studio.
We are. We're in the office here that we've turned into a podcast studio. It's got felt things on the ceiling.
I'm sure our listeners have felt that.
Good news, though.
What?
I'm out of the garage at home. I'm into the office here to do podcasts. I can do
freedom.
We can do them every week now.
That's good news for your wife. Is what she's the happy one.
The further out I am, the better off we all are. And there you have it. Hey,
What?
the new Scooter Zine magazine is out.
Yep.
That's a specialty niche magazine out of Arizona that follows all the scooter clubs, scooter shops, scooter rides, and focuses on scooter riders.
A national scribe?
It goes international.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. And guess who takes up some space?
Don't tell me.
Chasing Ghosts on Scooters and Bars.
How'd you nestle in there?
I just kept emailing him and poking at him. He's also did a thing on the South Sound scooters. So we have a little bit in two different areas. And we just want to say thank you so much to Scooter Zine.
Potential fourth sponsor?
Well, you know, we'll see how much Howard has in his bank account.
Come on, Howard.
He did remind me that our
Doesn't
subscription
take much.
lapsed, but he was going to go ahead and send it anyway. But if
Get it early.
if you're a rider or not, and you just want to keep up on clubs and rides and shops and other cool scooter-oriented stuff, you can go to the scooterzine.com and subscribe. They're also very active on Facebook and Instagram. In fact, so active they probably don't need Magic Mind.
Whoa.
Or maybe they do. Check them out. TheScooterZine.com.
Is it a newer one? Never heard of it, although I'm not necessarily in the know.
I've given you a copy every month for the last, I don't know, 2 years.
Okay, well, I forgot the name. It's been a while.
Okay, bye.
Hi, this is Liz from Pub at Piper's Creek in Seattle, Washington. You're listening to Chasey Goes on Scooters in Bars. Love you, Lizard. Fuck you, Bobby.
Love you too, Liz.
So, sometimes they'll just surprise you when they're doing that stuff. Speaking of which, we have a new sponsor. It's Magic Mind. All kinds of different people out there are using this great little elixir, and it is, I don't know, the world's first productivity shot. But what it does is it reduces procrastination. And after 10 months of not doing a podcast,
Here we are.
they send it to us. We take a few shots, and all of a sudden, hey, boys, we got a new podcast studio, and we're going. So pretty cool. It has all kinds of crazy stuff in it. Nootropics, lion's mane mushroom, matcha. I mean, all these things that we can't pronounce are making us feel better, clearing up our mind, and a heck of a lot of fun. Keith, please don't mix it with whiskey in your coffee.
It does say take with your morning caffeine, though.
It does. You can pour it in there. You can drink it. In fact, like a Jaeger shot, you can just take a shot of it and just make it go. Make
A
it
little
happen.
bit goes a long way.
That's how I've done mine.
I want to say
Straight out of the
taking it from taking it from a guy who's put a lot of daring liquids in his body. This one is shockingly effective and has worked wonders. Frankly, I think it works. That's me. I'm busy and I take it and it makes me feel younger, better. But, you know, is it in my mind? I don't know. Keith, how about you?
I have to agree. I think there is something to it. And again, whether it's my believing I want it to work or it's actually working, I do feel a difference.
Wow. Lonnie, it did same experience?
Well,
or?
when you said productivity, I mean, I was busy all day yesterday, got all kinds of shit done. So I didn't just lay on the couch and watch golf all day.
You just couldn't. You wanted to get things done. And Mark, you
Coach.
said that you had to eat Doritos to get the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah, I was.
Are you sure it
I've
was
had to do that
Magic Mind
before. I knew the routine. Luckily,
You can sip it out of the bottle. You can mix it in your smoothie.
Were you in prison too?
Yeah, steam room.
You can add it to your ginger lemon water.
well, yeah.
And like I said, you can just hit it like a Jaeger shot. You'll have more clarity. It'll crush that brain fog. It'll increase focus immediately, and you'll be able to reduce, they say, and I think it might be true, your caffeine intake. I don't know. You can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Unfortunately, my stamina didn't improve, but my wife says my focus was far better.
You mean you didn't fall asleep?
She said, "Let's try something new." So welcome to Magic Mind. A little later, we'll have a link to save all kinds of money. It's almost free by the time you use our link that they gave us. So there you go.
I just want to say thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. Did I say that we had a link for you? As a listener, Magic Mind's offered an incredible deal to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars listeners. Go to www.magicmind.co, not com, not C-O-M, but .co, /Chasing Ghosts, and get up to 53% off your first order by using the code CHASING20.
Oh, wow.
Which we try to do, but we're invisible when we try that. Chasing 20 at magicmind.co.
All right.
We went to a lot of bars. Did you know that? Here's one.
This is Rua Walsh. I work for Hidden Tours Dublin, and you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
He's from Dublin. You didn't go to that bar, but you know who did?
Oh,
Kent Nevin.
And Jason.
Oh, Jason sent that?
He did.
Nice.
Wow.
Work,
And actually, I
Jason.
think he was a tour guide, not a bartender, but I liked the way he sounded. It was kind of cool.
Very authentic.
Yeah.
We should probably hook him up with Mike so he knows where to go in Dublin.
I think Mike's got a whole Google sheet on that. So since it's been months since we've podcasted, let's do a quick review of our last PubScoot. That was last summer. What did we do?
Did
last
we
summer?
not? Have we not done a podcast since our last?
We have not.
Oh, good Lord!
Wow.
Yeah. So that took us from Tacoma, Washington, to Olympia, to Port Angeles and surrounding areas, into Seattle, into the Ballard and Fremont neighborhoods.
So all state of
The
Washington.
goal always is 40 bars in 4 days.
Well, you got to shoot for something.
yep.
And Mark, you have always been the scribe. You keep track of the different bars that we go to.
I try. Yeah.
We started out here at South Sound Scooters, southsoundscooters.com. We ship anywhere in the U.S. You can get the very best in scooters right here at southsoundscooters.com.
Excellent store.
If you need to fasten it down to your trailer, you can go to Fastco Inc., your solution for all things fasteners in the region and worldwide. They have a new website, fastco.com.
Close enough.
What is it?
FastGoInc.com.
Are you an ink place as well as
incorporated.
hardware?
But yeah, we'll hook you up.
Fastco.
Check it
Inc.
out.
Yeah, nice.
And if you need trailer decking for your trailer, go to specialtyforest.com.
That'll be next.
Oh,
That's
whoa.
on the next podcast.
That's without sponsorship. Are you going to let that fly? Just how you end up on the cutting room floor. Damn it! You're pushing too hard.
I got a hat from them.
Oh,
It was really, really very nice. Thank you, Mike Swamp. So we started out. It was a trip to Olympia from here,
our
and
state capital.
it was our first start. But before we could head south, we had to head east.
Why?
We went to a bar called the Forum in Puyallup, which they were expecting us to come in there.
Evidently not.
How did that go?
Oh, it was fine. It's a great bar.
It is a good. It's
Yeah.
a good bar.
Why did we pick that first?
Keith just thought it would be a good idea for us to swing in there and say hi before we left. And we did.
It was a good start.
We had a good
It was a
drink.
good start.
And then
Good
we
starting
realized
point.
we left some keys in the
that's
shop,
right.
and we had to have somebody go meet us. What keys were those? Do we remember?
No, but I
Yeah, what
think
was that?
Maddie.
No. You had the key Jason needed.
Right.
That's what
I took a key to a new scooter with me that was being sold, and had to meet and
And then
pass those
one
back.
of the wives or Jason came out to
I
get it.
believe it was Maddie that came and
Did
met
she?
us.
Yeah.
And met us at Little
Little Vic's
Vic's.
That's right.
in Midland.
In Midland. I forgot we even went there.
God,
Did
that's,
you?
good.
Teresa.
That's a good bar, Little Vic's.
Yep, Teresa set us up.
Is that who our bartender was?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
I remember that.
We went to the Forum, we went to Little Vic's, and then from there we headed south, I think, into Stillicum.
Lakewood, Lake City.
And we went to the Lake City Pub.
Yep.
But that is actually in Gravelly Lake, isn't it?
Well,
it's on
same
Lakewood.
neighborhood. Yeah.
And we'd never been there before because they're closed like half the week.
Yes.
You have to go later in the week
We've tried
to go to
before.
that bar. Yeah.
And been rebuked.
And it was nice. I mean, well-run bar, you know, the
Just a nice bar.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it didn't
We had a snack.
put you back on your heels and say, wow, this is classic.
No, but they had a nice snack.
Was that upstairs?
No.
That was the top
Where was
side.
the place?
That was in Stillicum. That was next.
That was next. Okay, sorry.
And then we left there and we headed to Stillicum, parked, went upstairs to that.
The top side.
top side?
Top side.
Yeah. And we had had
Catherine.
a quickie drink there with Catherine. And then from there headed south into Lacey, right?
Yeah, and it was raining at that point. We got a little wet.
And
The Viking Lounge.
the Viking. Now that is that's like a roadhouse.
Yeah.
We went in there and if I remember right, somebody had a little issue, was in the bathroom for a while. Who was that?
Speak now.
So we had 2 drinks
Was
at
there-
the Viking.
I didn't know I held you up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I've got written my notes here. I think rice ass. Something
So
rice ass. Something about ass.
I don't remember that.
Thing was huge.
Anyway,
and from there, you know, somehow we ended up in Bakota because we went to Joe's place. And how did that happen? Because that's south of Olympia.
Not yet.
No.
We were at the Boulevard Tavern in Olympia.
But when did we go to Bakota?
Not that day.
Not that
we
day.
didn't go to Bakota.
We did not at all.
No.
You're mixing your trips.
Yeah.
Okay, because I got an interview from there.
That was probably.
Well, we took
was about
we
me
were
and
in
Gene.
Bakota a while ago, but
Yeah.
but not on that trip.
Okay, should I
was a
save
cou-
that for another
yeah,
podcast?
That was a couple's trip.
Because it's right here, right? It gets queued up.
Oh, good Lord. Now you're mixing
Mean
up.
Well,
Gene.
Bakota's always a good stop.
Mean Jean is haunting Joe's place in Bakota.
Oh, she haunts me every day.
You earned that one. Though.
You fucking pussy. Okay, from Lacey, we went into Olympia. We went to a couple of bars before we checked into the Governor's house,
The
our
Boulevard,
hotel.
the Spar, and the Clipper.
Wow. One of them had popcorn. Remember the old popcorn machine? It was
Oh, that was the
not the Spar.
that was a Boulevard.
It was the
yeah.
Boulevard.
That was a Boulevard.
Yeah, that was
Because
nice.
it was a confluence of roads that all came
Yeah,
together.
because after the Boulevard, we went to dinner at the Spar.
Yeah.
The Spar was, we were walking by then.
Yep, and we ended at the Clipper where
It's
the
a mix-
lizards sang.
Yeah, the Spar is a McMinimans. It's a cool old
that's
deco
right.
style bar.
Yeah.
Neon over the bar and around in a kind of a swoopy look.
I actually do not remember singing at the Clipper,
Yeah, nobody called it that anyway.
but I know I sing all the time. So I mean, I can't remember.
I know
all,
what
but
you sang.
did. The crowd go crazy?
I'm sure they did.
Lighters were out.
I'm a little fuzzy on that one too.
You had some underwear on the stage with you.
It happens.
They were boxers. I will say,
Yeah.
we ate at the Spar. Is that
Yeah.
correct? They were super nice. They made me my special salad
Yeah.
that was not on the menu, and it
Okay.
was really good.
So why don't you share the ingredients of your special
Oh,
salad?
it's the best salad in the world. You take 2 heads of romaine lettuce,
Yeah. Chop them.
chop them up as
Yeah.
fine or as not fine as you want them. You take about 2 tablespoons of pepper,
Okay. Coarse ground.
coarse ground, fine ground, doesn't matter. You take
Well, it does.
Pepper's pepper.
actually.
you take
No, it isn't.
2 big handfuls of mozzarella cheese, throw it in there.
So
And
like a tablespoon.
Like 2 cups of blue cheese, mix it all up, and you eat it off a saltine cracker. And it's the best dinner in the world. And they made that for me.
And were you happy?
Oh, I was so happy.
And Svelte Keith can prove it.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah, he does. He looks
He's a
good.
machine.
He's thin.
So-
That's all he eats. And 1 meal a day. 2 heads of romaine.
And Magic Mind.
And later
That's
that
all you
night,
need.
I made the world record run on a
Oh, you
scooter
did.
home.
I
from
forgot
Olympia.
about that.
Oh, God,
So
I forgot about
you
that.
had to go get some medicine
Yes,
at your
I
house
did.
that you'd forgotten. You after everything got on your
About
Piaggio
midnight.
But I was going to say,
BV.
you were in bed or something. You
Yeah.
started,
Yeah.
and then you went, yeah.
I
And
gotta go.
tucked in behind some guy on a little Accord CXI or whatever and bombed home in no time. It was awesome.
So tell us about that BV 350. Are you happy with it?
Extremely. I
Because
recommend
the
them.
new replacement's the BV 400. We
I
got a
know.
couple coming in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for a new bike.
Who has one of those?
I would
I'm not
recommend
sure.
one of those.
Maybe SouthSoundScooters.com.
Or maybe the coach is riding one of those right now.
He
Yes, he
does. He
is.
rode
Highly
one here.
recommended.
Yeah.
No,
Very nice.
they're a great ride.
But it took you about 40. I mean, it took us 4 hours to get there. It took you 40 minutes to get home.
I'll bet I was home in less than half an hour.
I can't believe. Well, it seemed like it. After
Seriously.
that day.
Yeah, well. at
You
that
were
point-
cruising.
Yeah, we were cruising.
And then you came back and
Came
slept
back,
in it?
but you guys were just dropping into the parking lot when I pulled in the next morning.
Oh, you came the next.
Yeah.
You slept there. And
I
then
slept
Got a
came
couple
back.
hours of winks and then took off in the morning.
Yep.
Man, unbelievable.
Much needed.
And then we headed north. And if I remember, well, first of all, we stayed at the Governor House. And it seemed like such a great name, but it was a little bit like a flop house.
It was kind of like our governor. Big disappointment.
Oh, it wasn't
I
his
think
house.
I think I made those arrangements.
I think I did.
Well,
Hello, Governor.
we don't want to go there.
Yeah. It was, but
Fuck
it's,
the governor.
that's what happens when we go on these trips. We go into these hotels that we would never take our wives to, but we
We make it work.
make it work.
It wasn't a sleep in your helmet hotel, so it was fine.
It had a continental.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cereal and toast.
That's right.
So we all geared up. Keith got back, and we headed out of town, and I was leading, and we made 3 or 4 wrong turns. How do you get lost in Olympia? I don't know,
You found a way.
But you did it.
but we did.
I just
and
thought you liked Capitol Lake.
we went. Well, it was pretty,
It was.
and then we headed north. We had to stop on the way because we didn't
needed-
want to just go on.
Well, I think we needed gas too, didn't we? Because the casino's right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
But
yeah.
remember, we took side roads all
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
freeway, but never really on the freeway.
Right.
We stopped in at some casino in Olympic Peninsula. Do you guys remember the name of the casino?
Is it the-
Something Winds? They're always something
Four
Winds.
Winds.
No.
Is it Four Winds?
Nope. It's the
Angel of the Winds?
No, Colsita.
No.
Nope.
Angel Winds is north.
Whatever.
Yeah, well, it was.
It's got a golf course
let's
connected to it. 2
let's-
golf courses.
Let's call it Breezy Winds. And
Passing wind.
we went. We stopped in there,
But
and
didn't
it
we
just,
have to wait? We had to wait like 10 minutes to get a drink. They didn't serve
Yeah,
till
and we were the only
9 or
people
10.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, It was in the morning, and then got some fuel, headed north, and went to Bob's.
Great
In
stuff.
Bob's
Shelton.
Tavern.
Shelton.
Bob's
Yeah.
was a great.
And we
stop.
posted that on our Instagram account. You can see a picture of the big mural on their wall.
Great chicken.
And
Trina.
we were there about 10 a.m. and we said, "Hey, we heard you guys have great chicken. I know it's early." She goes, "Fire's hot."
Yeah.
So we had chicken and Joe's for breakfast.
Nice. They were hot.
We could. It's this new studio. It's got all kinds of sounds coming in.
That bar had a great feel.
Yep.
It was, and it had that. It did have the low ceiling, but it wasn't hung. It was those squares, those old squares
Yeah.
that have dots in them.
Yep.
What are those called?
I don't know, but you're so fucking picky about
Ceilings?
the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, I'm a ceiling guy.
And one of God's workers was writing
That's right.
writing
That's right.
something.
He was writing scripture, yeah.
putting stuff together.
And then the bar itself was completely full, not a single seat on it.
Horseshoe
And
type, yeah.
it was piano shaped.
Yeah.
And they had strung up Christmas lights over it. Like somebody put them up as a joke,
Yeah.
and they just decided to leave them, so they hung low and up and around. But it worked. It was just fine. It was
I would go back in a heartbeat.
old classic neighborhood bar
For sure.
with good chicken.
Great chicken.
And we left there, headed north, and where'd we go, Mark?
Model T in Hoodsport.
The Model T. So
Met Kat and you knew the owner.
Mark, the owner there. The reason I knew him is because we used to have property up on Lake Cushman on the Olympic Peninsula. Keith, you were there with me. You were a partner.
Coach, have you ever
Absolutely.
been up there? Did you ever go up there?
A lot of good years up.
No, never got invited, but I've heard a lot of great times.
Well, I've heard stories, but
I know I was in the neighborhood at that point in life.
So
You couldn't handle the truth.
We brushed right by that one, didn't we?
So once we got to know you, we sold the place. And we had a good time at the Model T. There was a
And had a
party and a
burger.
party bus that was leaving.
Oh, that's right.
And then we headed north from there to Hama.
Hama.
good stop. Always a good stop.
They're crowded, very, very crowded.
It was the Hama
Outdoor.
Hama Oyster Saloon. It's an
Yep.
outdoor deal with fresh shucked oysters and
Fresh.
broiled oysters, barbecue oysters, and apparently a group of women out celebrating.
Well, there was a lot of people there. Period. It was just packed.
Yeah.
My
It was.
first time there. That's a neat place.
Yeah, and we do recommend that, and they off and on follow us because they.
But it's unique. It's not a
Owned
bar
haunted
bar.
neighbors.
It's got a gift shop. You can buy snacks, treats, food, but it serves beer and wine.
And everything's outside.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no indoor seating at all. It's all just on the beach or the
you're
canal.
right there by the water.
There. Yeah, very cool. Headed north from there, and we went to the Gooey Duck,
Brennan.
and that's where
Bobby sat alone.
somebody got their panties got in a wad. Yeah, Bobby sat on the other side because he was tired of listening to us, and so we looked at him over there, and we started talking to Peter.
Right.
Remember
Okay.
Peter?
Now I remember that.
Yeah. Well, here's Peter right now.
This is Peter at the Gooey Duck Tavern in Brennan, Washington, on the famous Hood Canal, and you're listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
See,
Weird accent though.
but he's also from Ireland.
I thought he was from Shelton.
Brennan.
that morning.
No, he was an immigrant from Shelton to Brennan.
He was a nice guy, and he did that like 13 times, and we finally got one that was close, and it was fun to do, and it was really great to meet everybody up there, and of course I've been there before, but hadn't really engaged and spoke to the bartenders, so that was fun. What was your impression?
I liked it.
Yeah.
It's got a different, again, the bars, two sides face each other, and then you got open tables on the outside, or to the right side.
Yeah, left there. We left
It
there.
reminded me of a milking parlor at the dairy.
Nice.
A little bit.
She's serving both sides, taking care of them. You got the herd out front.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified
You were
that.
scarred for life.
And they brought the torch around to burn the hair off my balls, though. I was a little concerned.
So we left Brennan, and I'm a little hazy right there. Where did we go? Did we, swim from
No,
there?
we went to Quillbilly's and Quillcene.
Quillacene.
Quillacene. Miss
Is that
Nina.
that little place?
Kind of just low.
Is that where you
roof?
threw water on me on my scooter?
No.
I think you
Nope.
dumped water right
Nope,
there.
That was the next day.
No.
Yeah, because look where we end up. We
Okay,
fought.
all right.
We fought in Seattle.
No, I
There was-
saved it for a day.
The help at that place was outstanding.
We sat at the end, didn't we? Kind of.
It was there were two areas. We walked into that little bar area.
Yeah, but you wanted to get ice cream at that place.
Right, on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. Now I was in my head. I was in a good
I
place.
remember it was really
Yes.
warm,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful day. It was
Yeah.
like 85 degrees. It was
The ice
wonderful.
cream was excellent.
That's right.
And so we left there, Mark, and headed north.
Then went to the Oasis in Sequim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a bar.
It was all right.
It was at a
Bar.
strip mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a.
Yeah.
Sequim doesn't really offer a lot for
Nope.
classic bars.
Wasn't there one more place we went in Sequim?
No, we ended up in Port Angeles.
All right. What was the first stop in Port Angeles?
The
Our
Rail.
hotel?
The Rail for dinner.
Well, no. Back up. Then we went to the hotel and checked in.
Right.
We were staying on the water, which was really kind of nice. It was a nice place. Do you remember where we stayed?
No, I don't. I don't do hotels.
It's like a red lion or something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
think you're right.
It was
Yeah.
a red line.
Yeah,
You
and-
made those arrangements.
And all I know is that your room was in the parking lot and ours was on the water.
Oh, yeah.
And then we parked our bikes and we hoofed it through Port Angeles and experienced a lot of stuff. We went to the Rail.
The Rail.
Then we went
Bar
to
9.
So Bar 9 had a great bartender.
Yeah.
And that was Nick, who earlier did an opening for us. And we went to a whiskey bar that was haunted. I mean, everything. It was really fun.
And Nick Nick was a, what do they call him? Swamp boat racer.
She was from
is.
Puyallup,
Yeah. Or is a swamp boat racer.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I texted or I sent a picture of her and I together to my friend that lives in Sequim. That's a car dealer up there, has several car dealerships. And he goes, "Nicky!" It was his first comment, which was great. But we did end up at whiskey. What was the name of the whiskey bar?
That was our last stop.
But what was it called?
Bourbon West.
Bourbon West. So Bourbon West is haunted, and they have a ghost there. And so I collected a little bit of a ghost story from Jordy.
Well, let's skip the Meta Room and the Gateway Tavern. Let's get right to the bourbon.
Well, do you remember about those other places?
No.
All right, here's Jordy at Whiskey River.
Bourbon West.
Bourbon West.
It was stop 20s.
Take my mind.
So I'm with you're Jordy, right?
Yep.
And Jordy is a manager, one of the managers of a bar here in Port Angeles, Washington, and it's haunted. It's a whiskey bar.
Yep. It used to be an old brothel back in the early 1900s, and there was a bar in the middle stairs. The basement was a dock boating station, and then the third floor was a brothel.
Right.
And they had, I want to say, about 12 or 13 tables upstairs. That is now condemned because it is kind of falling apart up there, and the owner doesn't want to change it because he likes the whole story behind the building.
Right.
So now, at nights, there is a female presence and a male presence that I've had two different people confirm. And at nights, I hear footsteps about once a week upstairs, walking up and down the hallway. And I went up there one night to make sure that there was no one up there, and there was absolutely nothing.
Did it make you nervous?
Oh, it definitely made me nervous. It makes me nervous every time I hear it because I don't know which one it was. There is one lamp above our bar that swings about once every 2-3 weeks. Randomly, and the rest of the lamps will not swing that are right around it, and we have all the doors closed every time.
Wow.
And I've only seen an aspiration once come out of the bathroom, full shadow, lean out, look at me, and then go back in the bathroom. And when I went in there, there was
female or male?
I couldn't tell. It was just a shadow. I couldn't quite tell, but it turned on the heaters, so that's why I looked, and it saw me looking at it.
So cool. What's the name of the bar?
Bourbon West, Port Angeles, Washington.
Nice. Thank you, Jordy. That's great.
You're very welcome.
All right. Fucking
Somebody was excited.
I was still drinking, but I was not writing.
No.
Nope.
Of course not.
Yeah.
None of us were.
So I think we made a few more stops after that one. We went back to Bar 9.
We were regurgitated some bars. We didn't go to anything new, though.
Right.
And then Bobby and I and Lonnie we all went to bed, and you and Keith stayed out in Port Angeles for a little while.
Correct.
And you went to the same bars or something new?
We went back to Bar 9.
Yeah, went to Bar 9.
So you went there 3 times. I went there twice.
Yeah.
Well, then I think I went back with you.
No, we didn't. I don't think we went 3 times.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
don't think so. But
Yeah. But we'd never done Port Angeles. It was cool. I mean, it's a historical
They've got
place
plenty of bars.
with all kinds of stories and history, and with whales and ships and
Surprisingly, a lot of good bars. It was a
Yes.
good town.
yeah. So if you get in Washington up on the Olympic Peninsula, you should check out Port Angeles on your scooter that you get from South Sound Scooters. There you go. Or anywhere else. If you're in Portland and you're riding up, go to our friends down there at Vespa Portland.
Vespa Portland.
Who, by the way, did a very nice thing recently.
What they did.
you?
They got a call from somebody up here looking for a scooter that was not aware yet that we were here, and they sent them right back. And I just want to say that was a really classy move by them, and thank you.
Yeah.
The guys
Thank you, Andrew.
Well, yeah, that
Vespa
is very
Portland.
nice because you don't do that to them.
I just recently dumped one right in their market.
Are you pulling your billboards out of Portland now, or what?
the Google words, Vespa Portland. Anyway, thanks, guys. We really appreciate that. All right, take us through it, Captain. Where do we go the next morning?
Well, we woke up refreshed and ready for trailers for breakfast.
Is that the name of the place we went
Yes.
to? Man, I'm a little
For
foggy.
sale.
Yeah, no. It was like
for
it was
50
just a big
cents.
family
It was a
style
cafe breakfast type, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best we could do. It was
Yeah.
open, and
We have bloodies?
they had drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, great.
Remember, we were in that back room back there.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, now it came back. That's right.
Yeah.
And somebody came in. We were the only ones, and then some people came in.
Right.
And then they left.
And we headed to the ferry landing.
Went to the ferry.
And we're heading over to Seattle to do the big city.
Heading east.
I gotta
East.
say, thank goodness Bobby was there because it felt really good cruising past 500 cars to get on the ferry.
When Bobby
Yeah.
just said, follow me.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the great thing about riding a scooter or motorcycle through the
Absolutely.
ferry system
Yep.
up here in the Northwest. You are first on, first off. Go
Yep.
to the front of the line.
Yep.
And they wave you right on, no questions asked.
Great way to meet Harley guys, too.
Oh yeah, they love us. Or a lot of big bike riders now are getting scooters as well because they don't like all the hassle.
Right.
They don't have to gear up. They can jump on it, run to the pub, run to the store, do whatever they want to do. And you know what the best place to get a scooter is?
Sound Scooters.
Yeah, that's right.
But there was a couple there that was traveling. They were riding
Oh, that's right.
off-road.
She had a
Yeah.
small bike and he had a big bike. And he had a big dual sport.
They were
right?
all packed up. They had their shit. They were camping or whatever
Yeah.
they were doing.
Where were they from? Were they up on the peninsula somewhere?
Now that I don't know.
Keith, did you check your magic mind? Because you're a little bit foggy.
Little hazy.
You need a fresh one? Got a couple left.
It's been a couple hours.
Take it like a Jaeger shot. But it was a nice ride. I think we sat upstairs and
Had a
good
beverage.
ride. Yeah. Landed in Edmonds.
Yes,
Remember?
off to Ingles Pub.
We went to Ingles, which is the oldest pub, I think, in Edmonds. Great little seafaring town.
Jeannie served us.
Yeah,
She did.
That's a good bar.
And then we met there was a couple of people we met and they had some drinks with us, a drink with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we walked down to another bar nearby.
Rory's Bar and Grill.
Yeah,
And
Rory's.
that's where we've been. We've been there before. That's where.
No, Ingles we've been before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the one half of who we met was well on her way.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was
Well, let's not be judgmental on
No.
none, no judgment, but she was having a very good day at like 10:30 in the morning.
And then
Very happy.
And then off to heading south.
Yeah, from Rory's we went to the pub at Piper's Creek
The
in
pub.
Greenwood.
You know, remember, I just played that, didn't I? It's coming here. Liz, remember?
Yeah.
Of course.
Liz.
You want to
Yeah,
hear it
Liz.
again?
Is that where she?
We should.
Is that where she had made the appetizers and brought them in?
She made her own food.
Oh my
and brought it
God,
in.
that was good.
Here she is.
Hi, this is Liz from Pub at Piper's Creek in Seattle, Washington. You're listening to Chasey Goes on Scooters in Bars. Love you, Lizard. Fuck you, Bobby.
There she is again.
She's our
we
favorite.
did that already. But we did it twice.
Is that the place that the guy owns and has owned forever, and he opens it on Friday and Saturday night or something like that?
No, I don't
what was
think
the
so.
place? What was that place that we stopped at?
Man, you didn't tell us there was going to be math.
Yeah, no, I think so because I've got in my notes here Liz and Lee or Liz and there's another. I can't read my writing.
I think that was the
But yeah,
place.
I
It's
think you're
quite
right.
a story because he's
Yeah.
owned it forever, and he's old. His daughter is now kind of involved, and he comes in on Friday and Saturday night, and they have a band or something. Anyway, it's quite an icon.
And it was a nice stop.
Yeah,
it was a bar I'd
Absolutely.
never seen or been to, and liked it. Now we're heading into the city, right? We're getting
Getting
we're in
dirt-
North
dirt and
Seattle,
gritty.
heading down to Old Ballard Avenue, and then we think we ended up at Hattie's Hat.
We went to Boxcar first.
We went to Boxcar first, and that's down in Inner Bay, right?
Met your son.
Near the Ballard Bridge. We met Cooper,
Yep.
who lives right by there.
Yeah.
And the Boxcar is a cool old place.
Yeah, it was.
Where they moved the
It
building
literally is a
up
boxcar.
from Anacortes and brought it up there and put it as a flop house for the workers in the railroad. And it's right there by the rail yard.
Part of the bar is a boxcar or something.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the Boxcar. Had a quick drink there and then headed up to Old Ballard Avenue.
Then Hattie's Hat.
And
Zaria.
Zarya? Where was Raven? I thought it was Raven.
Yeah.
Unless he spelled it wrong.
If you turn it sideways, it could be an R.
So we hit several bars on Old Ballard Avenue. That's a fun area to go and to just walk around. Mm-hmm. And that's what we were doing.
Yeah. And then we need to make a new rule.
No more
no
Chinese.
more fucking Chinese food.
All right. So we went to the
Golden City.
Well, and people
Golden Shower.
They call it the
Golden Shitty.
I have a friend that lives in Ballard, and I said, so we're at the Golden, what is it?
City.
And she goes, you mean Golden Shitties?
Yeah.
God.
That was god awful.
She goes, why, of all the great restaurants down there, did you guys go there?
And like you always do, you order one of everything on the goddamn menu.
I
yes,
went up
you
there.
did.
You guys said, go up and order food. And I said, can you just bring us food? That's all I said.
Yeah.
Bring us
that's pretty wide
green
open.
light. Just bring us 2 of everything.
And they did, and we fed the neighborhood.
Fuck.
Yeah, some homeless hobo started sitting down next to us eating. It took us about a half hour to figure out she's not with us.
But Mark is all in. Hey.
To the tune of about $400.
It was about a $400 Chinese food dinner.
I still got the squirts.
Hey, we paid for it, and we paid for it.
So,
holy gyoza.
Yeah, it was terrible. We're sorry about that.
But that's where Coach Nevin came and met us.
Oh, that's right.
He finally met us.
He had a big ride that day, and he beeline from Puyallup and came up and met us.
Yeah, he just got back into town from, was that his Ireland trip?
I think he was in Europe. Yeah.
It was his Ireland trip. He just got back from Ireland.
And he was under a little duress, too.
Yeah, he was a little pressure to stay home and get some shit unpacked.
You got to give him an A for effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he saved my life. So then
we went to Cafe Vit and the Red Star.
We did, but we checked into our townhouse, which was very nice. We had
lovely.
a nice Fremont townhouse.
Little stress for Mark.
Well, everybody's beating on the walls. Trying to get in.
You do not handle stress very well.
Well, I didn't that day because
you could have used some magic mind.
So
hey, don't step, don't walk, don't talk. Take your shoes off. Who's going over there? You can't have water. No.
Well, we got a nice review back.
I hope so.
Only because I didn't take out a closet door.
Because we slept standing up.
We did have a little wrestling match, and I did have internal bleeding from it. So thank you very much for that.
You deserve that. You were playing dirty.
We got up in the morning. Nevin pulled you off me finally because you'd lost it. You were going to kill me. I had a bruise on every part of my body.
It was ugly. It really was ugly.
Well.
He cheap shotted me.
He poured water on me on the ride.
Okay, stop. So it was not on you. I poured a little on your seat. It slipped. And the bottle slipped a little. I could wipe it off, but I left it.
So you fell asleep.
It was
I poured 85 a little bit
degrees.
On your forehead.
Your ass was sweating anyway. You didn't even feel it. So 6 hours later, you doused me with a bucket of water sitting on the couch. That's how you treat me?
It was a splash.
Oh, the house that we can't do or touch anything, you can throw water everywhere.
Well, it was in my name.
I couldn't stand the double standard.
Oh, God. It was hurtful, though.
Okay, anyway.
Moving on.
How about those Mariners? Huh?
So,
oh, man.
You, Keith.
Good thing you've never whined about it.
The next day, we did South Park and we did Georgetown in Seattle. We hit the 40 bars in 4 days, though I didn't. I had to leave because I didn't feel good from the wrestling match.
But Keith finished it for us.
Yes, he did.
We made it to 39, and then he went.
And you made it to like 42, didn't you?
I think I finished at 42. That is correct.
Yeah. Well, you're part
of
the
team.
Okay,
then we made 40. So. We made 40 because you went 2 more after.
It is not, especially at the age that I'm getting to. 53, 54.
You know what? All for one for all.
That's right.
That's what counts.
So nice trip, nice ride. We hit our goal, and goals are important to hit. So let's hear from Raven.
This is Raven in Ballard, Washington, and you are listening to Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bars.
See? She was at the
That
Tin
was
Hat.
Raven, yep. Hattie's Hat, not Tin Hat.
Hattie's Hat, Tin Hat. There's a whole bunch of different bars with that name. I'm wearing a foil cap right now because we're going to be talking about UAPs and UFOs right after this. Well, so here's the look up part of our podcast. We've been looking in, we've been looking out, but now we're looking up. And, you know, you guys have all seen and read the recent headlines of UFOs, UAPs, and they're everywhere, right? They've been legitimized by the military and the government, including Congress and the president, who's asked for more information.
Your president.
You cannot deny that this is quite possibly, fuckers, the biggest story ever.
Shit.
Ever. We're getting visited by things that nobody can explain, including our military and our government. It is huge.
It's China.
It is not China. You're talking about the balloons. It is, but this has been going on forever, and now instead of denying it
So why
and
is it a
hiding
big
it,
deal?
it is a big deal.
If it's been going on forever.
Right.
It's not a big
It's
deal.
in the Bible. In your Bible.
What's in the Bible? You haven't been to church in your life.
Here's the thing. This is such a big deal. This is such a big deal. And you guys are like, meh.
For those of
whatever.
you, for those of you that are not watching on TV, you can see the headset does not fit completely over his dome because of the horns on his head that make the headset protrude just a little.
Anyway,
So it's not meh.
It's what?
It's not meh. It's just like I believe in everything. So it's not. There's nothing that's going to be incredible when it actually happens. In all of infinity, you can't eliminate anything.
Okay, so it's always been pushed into the edges of media, to the edges of conversation.
Right, yep.
My point is that this has been going on forever. It's getting with everybody with camera phones, with all the high res cameras that are on satellites, that are on jets, that are everywhere.
Drones
We are seeing it everywhere. And now the major news, like Fox, your station.
Do you think Magic Mind has heightened your awareness as well?
I think that they probably are open-minded to it because, you know, they're all about nootropics and lion's mane mushrooms and all that kind of stuff. It is a big deal. And here's a nice little snippet I found, thanks to, in this case, a whole bunch of people reporting, but it was brought forth by CNN. I'm sorry, Bonnie. You're
the Clinton News Network.
Yeah. But here is just a minute or so of a synopsis of some of the things that are going on out there. Do you guys have a second? Can you listen? Can you listen for a moment? Here we go. This is a new technology for us. You ready?
Yep.
No indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns.
The U.S. military is now detecting more items in the sky after changing radar settings in the wake of the Chinese spy balloon.
The military needs to have a plan to not only determine what's out there, but determine the dangers that go with it.
Is this sort of bigger aperture picking up lots of stuff that has essentially been forgiven, sort of, around in the skies, whatever else it is, because it didn't pose a threat? Or is it part of something organized for whatever surveillance?
These unidentified aerial phenomena have been reported for many years without explanation or deep examination by the government. President Biden has changed all that. We are finally trying to understand them better.
It is the responsibility of the Department of Defense to be honest with the American public and to use AARO, which has been established to deal with the UAP and UFO issue, to come forward and present the truth to the American public.
Jeremy Corbell is a documentary filmmaker.
What was splashed? Mark bearing and range.
He has released several images of UFOs, some of which have been verified by the U.S. government.
Civil society groups like...
Okay, so there's just some of the things that are out there being talked about in the major news media. Jeremy Corbell is he's well known in that area, and then there are some people that will argue with him and others that won't. But the point is that it's getting this sort of light on it. We need to be aware that this is bigger than, I don't know, the Beatles, which at the time were bigger than God. So I want to talk about it a little bit because I think that you guys are poo-pooing it. And when you walk out one of these days,
what are you going to do?
There is a massive airship up there that you can't explain. All of a sudden, you're going to say, I'm sorry. Let's go back into the podcast studio and recut episode 58.
And when that happens, that's what we're going to do.
This is real, though, Jerry.
Do you think you're going to be alive still when the next one confronts us?
This is happening every day. Yes, I'm going to be alive
You have yet
through
to
tomorrow
be confronted, though.
and the day after.
You have yet to be confronted.
Well, my sister saw a UFO, and so did Bobby Chaw.
Well, my dad can beat up your dad.
My brother's got.
And we're going to fucking recess now? Come on. Why don't you stick to reading books about religion and philosophy and hope? Why are you going to this?
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Or
what? Where are we headed?
Try something else.
Oh, good.
We have a customer that works for the government in a super secret capacity, watching the night skies. Literally.
Really?
That is what he does. She does. They do.
Is like a he, she, they? Them
Yeah, they
thing?
watch. No, they watch for threats. I can't say if it's.
You're just hiding the.
I'm hiding
everything.
Okay. And then they watch for threats and other interesting stuff. And I asked this person for an interview, and we're still waiting for approval from the higher ups. Quotation higher ups.
And those.
So I did talk to this person, and we had a conversation. So what we're going to do is just play you the reenactment.
This is really good shit.
Everything you said is true, Mark.
From our initial conversation.
The power of magic mind.
So here we go.
Now that's hard-hitting journalism right there.
Here we go. Here is the conversation. This is why I'm so intrigued. This is great stuff. Here we go.
So, isn't it true that you work for a government agency that we can't name?
Yes.
Is it true that you watch the night skies for threats against America?
That is correct.
Is it true that you've seen some things up there that cannot be explained?
Absolutely.
Can you talk about those things?
No.
Great. Well, thank you.
I didn't know.
Okay.
That is excellent.
I didn't know Ted Baxter was still on the news.
So that was literally the conversation. I mean, is there stuff up there going on?
So we were right. You're wrong. There's really nothing going on.
No, he confirmed that there was. And what about the recent shoot down headlines? Now they're
We have
saying
shootings every weekend.
There's no connection. Shoot down the balloons.
The balloons.
What about a canister floating in the atmosphere at 40,000 feet? What the hell is that about?
What canister?
So they over Alaska, they shot it down. It was a canister-looking thing floating by itself, and they shot it down. Now they can't find it, but they found it. They're just saying they can't.
Those fucking
It's Roswell, right, all over again.
Somebody's hairnet.
Do you remember a few years ago,
sometime yesterday,
from the headline from the New York Times? It was actually January 13th, 2018, and every other news source. Do you remember hearing about this?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Hawaii panics after alert about an incoming missile is sent in error. Now, that headline happened after all the excitement. Here, if you look at your notes, you can see this emergency alert. Here's what the people, like a Amber Alert, came on their phone, and it had the little triangle with the exclamation mark in the middle of it, like an Amber Alert, and it says emergency alert, ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. This is what they sent to everybody living in Hawaii at early in the morning.
And they got in a lot of trouble for sending that.
Yeah. The rest of the article from the New York Times, not the rest, but just the next paragraph says, an early morning emergency alert mistakenly warning of an incoming ballistic missile attack was dispatched to cell phones across Hawaii on Saturday, setting off widespread panic in a state that was already on edge because of escalating tensions between the United States and North Korea. This was a really big deal nationwide, but really super big on the islands, as you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, think about how that would feel internally. And I have a friend, you all met John.
Yep.
He's lived over there for over 30 years. He was a fraternity brother of mine at the University of Washington here in Seattle.
Brother John.
He went ahead and stayed stayed at the frat. I went ahead and got a house because that shit just wasn't real for me. But he did experience this event, and he did share this story. If you've got a minute, I would like to play it for you. So, I think it would be really cool if you would.
It's always worth listening to John.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Here's John in Hawaii.
Actually, I got to go to the bathroom. So, John, yes, you live in Hawaii. I do, Honolulu. And a few years ago, you experienced something that was completely out of character for our country, let alone the area that you're in. And I just think you need to tell us about it.
Well, thank you. In hindsight, it's something that, I certainly grew up with, but you probably are way too young. But, the whole duck and cover, as a young child, I lived in a neighborhood with bomb shelters. Some of the houses had bomb shelters.
That was in Spokane.
That was in Spokane, yeah. And so, but, in many decades since, the threat of nuclear annihilation was never really up on the front burner. And the story is a little more remarkable because it suddenly was thrust up in the front burner for me. Being in Honolulu, it was rather notable that, I'm trying to remember the date, but this is when there was a false alarm of missiles coming in from North Korea.
From North Korea. Which right now in the news, with Biden being in Asia, they're shooting off rockets. It's still appropriate.
Oh yeah. They love to do that whenever there's an election, either in South Korea or United States, or a visit. They like to, throw a missile around just to say, hey, we're still here. And I think this was around 2017, early in the year. Trump had just taken office. Every morning I go on a bicycle ride, I start pretty early, 6:30, 7 in the morning. So I'm out. It's a beautiful day, riding a bicycle, and I don't take any ID or money. I just take my door keys and go. And so I have no phone or anything. And so I'm riding along, beautiful day, and this a couple of homeless guys over on the side. One comes running out, waving a phone at me, and it puts me on edge too. Whenever there's a homeless guy running after you, and he goes, "Hey, did you hear the news? The missiles are coming in." I go, "How do you know?" And he goes, "I just saw it on my smartphone." Well, my first thought was like, "Well, what are you doing with a smartphone?" But then the second thought was like, "Oh, well, that's odd," and I bicycled, just kept on going, thinking, okay, maybe I didn't put a lot of.
Well, he was temporarily unhoused, but he wasn't temporarily unphoned.
And I thought he was temporarily unhinged, so I didn't put much into it. So my route that day, a few blocks later, was coming around to Ala Moana Center, which is a very large shopping center in Honolulu. And again, by this time it's 7:30-ish, something like that, or 8 maybe. So the shopping center doesn't open till 9, but there's people streaming out of the shopping center. And I'm going, well, that's odd. And what they were clerks and people preparing to open the store by 9. And they were coming out, and one in particular was a young gal, I don't know, about 20 years old, and she comes running out, "Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news? What? Missiles are coming in." And she's got her phone, and I'm going, "Really?" And she goes, "Yeah." And they're saying it's not a test, not a warning. Missiles are coming in from North Korea, and we got about 20 minutes. And it was like, and I'm seeing other people running out. There's wasn't a lot. I mean, a couple dozen, but there was definitely panic. It was the oddest feeling that came over me. It was like, okay, well, this must be it.
It's the big one.
This could be, after, as a child, duck and cover, seeing houses with bomb shelters in the back. I remember one neighbor kid gave me a peek into their bomb shelter, and there's food stored and everything. And then in high school, I had a friend who was Mormon. Well, they're all about prep for their whole basement was.
Well, we were in college. We had a bomb shelter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is a twist on it. So experiencing that in a long time ago, and then had park in it for years, and never had to worry about it, was suddenly okay. Here it is. This is after all this time, this is it, and it was not as I expected. I was actually filled with more calm. It was surreal, but I was calm, and it was because. Well, I guess this is it then, And I think my serenity was more in the fact that, at this time I'm 62 years old or something. And, as you can attest, I've lived a pretty good life, and I've had a lot of adventures. I've had a lot of fun. I've had great times.
Well, this is an explicit podcast, and we can't talk about some of the things.
Well, not that I was going to go there.
I said we cannot.
I wasn't going to go there, but let's just leave it at a euphemism. I've had a good time, and it was like okay, it's been a great run. And then it was also mixed with this will be an experience.
Yeah.
Hey, I've gone through a lot. I never a nuclear hit, so this will be wild because I knew it was probably going to be brief. And then there was a tinge of sadness because especially with this 20-year-old girl next to me, and she was like very panicked, and I felt so sad for her.
Where did you guys end up going?
I felt sad for her because she's just starting her life. It's going to end, So, and she's going, where are you going? Where are you going? And I go, well, I don't know. And she's, I'm going to the beach. And I go, well, I'll tell you where I'm not going is to the beach, because you'll be toast in seconds. Although, thinking back on it, that's probably the best way to go is just to be incinerated immediately. And she goes, well, where are you going? And I pointed to the parking garage. It was right next to us. It was about a 3-story parking garage. And of course, in the parking garage, there's fire escapes, and all lay-right concrete fire escapes. And I just thought, well, some areas were 3 stories. There was one area where it was just 1 story above, and I'm thinking, okay, if it's going to pancake, I said, I'm going to go over to this fire escape in this parking structure, and I'm going to hang in there. And she goes, I'm going with you. And so there, it was like the two of us going to this fire escape at the parking structure, and meanwhile, we're passing other people running out on their phones, and we get there, and we're just about to go in, and one person runs out with a phone and goes, "Oh, it's a false alarm! It's a false alarm! They just announced it. It's a false alarm!" And she just immediately just started bawling her eyes out, just crying, and I was like, "Wow, it really was an adventure." But it was remarkable, and I've always reflect on it because of that feeling when this was the end, and it was like, it's okay. Yeah. I'm all right with it.
Did the girl have daddy issues at all?
I thought we weren't going to go there. No, she was. I'm trying to remember. It was like then. It was like 2 ships in the night. Then she started crying. She composed herself, and it was sort of like, well, then, see you around.
See ya.
Yeah,
Everything's okay.
Been nice.
Do you carry your phone now on the bike?
No.
All right. Well, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
By the way,
there you go.
This segment is brought to you by the Maui Wowie Weed Shop.
So,
tell me more about this bong shelter.
It took some time for the government to send out that notice. I mean, they people were going through that experience of reflecting on their lives, and experiencing that moment like he described, where he actually got calm, And he was like, all right, this is it. I don't have to pay any more bills, right? Think of the freedom that might give you. It's like the guy that jumps off the bridge, right? Oh, wait. Wait a second.
Right.
I mean, there is probably that moment.
So
of
all
freedom.
of this is a false alarm. Is that
It
what you're
was a
saying?
false alarm.
No, all this stuff.
All
these sightings, everything is just a false alarm. I need not worry.
You need not worry, Mark, because either way, you're fine.
I was going to say.
No matter what, we all end up at the same place.
That's what I believe. So
yeah.
I'm just going to.
Though you are still practicing Catholic, are you not?
I'm a Catholic.
In his mind, he was saying, this is it. In my voice, I'm saying, this is it. This is the end of our first podcast of 2023.
First and last.
Maybe. It could be.
Another exclusive podcast.
A special thanks to John in Hawaii. All the servers we quoted and used in the podcast. You, our listeners, and of course, Magic Mind Elixir.
Absolutely.
For giving us the energy and clarity to do this
and
podcast.
our mystery interviewer.
Yeah.
Yes. Riveting.
Our mystery interviewer?
The
and interviewee.
Or interviewee.
Yes.
Well, that was a reenactment. And
It was excellent.
He did. That person did a really good job. Remember Fasco? For every fastener solution in the world.
Absolutely.
The orders are going to come rolling.
They are the king of retail.
You better get to work right now.
I can't wait.
Ready
King of retail. You need one screw, you come on down.
We ship nationwide from South Sound Scooters. And, of course, to weeknights for the original music for the podcast. And remember, keep your head on a swivel and the rubber side down.
Listen early, listen often.
Copyright 2023 by Chasing Ghosts on Scooters in Bar. As a reminder, go to www.magicmind.co, code CHASING20 for up to 53% off your order for Magic Mind. And as we talked about in the podcast, this stuff works. And it really helps. And the older you are, the better it works. That may be not true, but I just thought it would be fun to talk about. Thanks.